What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. It is Friday, November 8th, 2024, year of our Lord. And we got another opportunity to do great things. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up to all of my friends and my family in the building. I am excited to be before you today. Life is good. Life is good. Honest to God, it's been a busy week, but the week has gone by fast. It almost feels like for me it should be Thursday, but it's really Friday. So I'm excited to kick it with you guys. What up to everybody in the chat? You said you ordered that cheese pack. Brehan, we gonna get there in a minute. I'm gonna read those super chats. What's up to all of my friends and family? What's up to all of the crash dummies that's out here melting down over this election? I see you. You just moved back home from a breakup, Phil? Better things are to come. Better things are to come. Purple Haze, your car, my dog. Godiva, Dorian Page. Jennifer, what up, Jennifer? P. Shank, what up? Sabrina says the year is going by fast. It's almost over. Keisha, the year is almost over, baby. So, yeah, man, we got to go out with a bang. We got to go out with a bang. This is the time of the year where we absolutely, positively want to make sure that we keep the foot on the gas because all of the things that we set in place last year to prepare ourselves for this year has manifested times 100. And I'm anticipating next year, 2025, to be the best year of our life. I can absolutely tell you without a shadow of a doubt that today is the best day of my life. And it hasn't even gotten started yet. And it's not that anything special happened to me. It's because I know that I'm going to make the most of my time. And every day, every year, every month is always better than the month before because we make an incremental progress that results in huge, huge gains. And so I'm excited that you guys are here with me. Thank you for tuning in to the most entertaining, informative, and successful, independently owned morning show on the face of the earth. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here. Shout out to the bag chasers. Shout out to the chasers. The chasers is in the building. All of the new bag chasers and Patreon members, I welcome you into our family. We are going to be doing a live stream this weekend on Stock Club. Look forward to it. We're going to plan for how we're going to adjust our portfolios to take advantage of this next administration that's coming in. The Fed just cut interest rates yesterday again. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We got a lot to talk about as far as mass deportation. Rachel Maddow, I was going to get to that yesterday. There's so much to talk about. I mean, we might even throw a little bit of Van Jones in there. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot to talk about, a lot to go over. Trump has appointed a chief of staff, RFK Jr. Lots to go over. Make sure y'all tap into After Hours tonight. After Hours last night was dope. Carrie got me thinking about switching up some microphones. We're going to be doing some new things, all right? What up to all of my people in the chat? Azriel, Hey, let me give a special thank you. A special thank you to the people that has been here with me for a long time now. You know that Anton gets nothing overnight, and everything we get, we got to work hard for. So I want to thank all of my chasers. I also want to thank my moderators. I want to thank Molly, Azriel. I want to thank Yakar. I want to thank Kay Cooper. All of the people that continue to hold me down. Everybody that love on me, show me love and support. I don't let any time go by without praying for y'all, without praying for the people that support this platform. And I'm humbled. I'm truly humbled on a regular basis. I don't get more successful and become more arrogant. I get more successful and become more confident, but at the same time, my humility is always going to be with me. I've never changed since day one. Since the first time that y'all tuned into me, I am matter of fact. I do not run in the Victim Olympics. I don't advise that you do so also. But I always like to give credence, appreciation, and love to the people that hold me down. So you know me, 100% independent, 100% of the time. And I love my people. I love you. For all of y'all, for the fellas, for the ladies. If nobody told you, if you are watching this right now, if nobody has told you that they love you, that they're intentional about showing you how much they appreciate you, that you are a beacon of light on this earth, and no matter where you at in your life at this moment, that tomorrow is going to be better, and we need you to get yourself together so you can add more value into this earth, and we want to leave this earth in a better space had we not been here. I am telling you right now, to my truck drivers, to my teachers, to my stay-at-home moms, to the guys that's trying to figure it out, to my union workers, to my corporate Gs, to all of the tech workers, to the cybersecurity professionals, to the people that pick up the trash, to the janitors, to those that's working at the Amazon warehouses, to the steel workers, to all of my union members, to all of the people that do everything that help us become who we are, no matter who you are and where you are in this world right now. To my people in the United States of America, overseas, everybody that's rocking out with me, I want to let you know that I love you. I appreciate you. I see you. We are family extended. Even when it comes to us coming together, it's not a building. It's like church. Church is not a building. Church is a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going, and it's all serving one purpose, and that's to lead this earth in a better space had we not been here. Bag chasers are not people that chase money. We chase the greatest things for us, what's best for us, what's best for our children, understanding that the money comes with it. Let's lead with a scripture. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. Make sure you do the right thing the right way, and everything is going to work out in your favor, even if it hasn't in the past. I declare it on you today, right now. You don't need nothing but God and your family is a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in. I love you. I appreciate you. Before we get started with the show, I just want to let you know that it does not go unnoticed. You are the greatest group of people, and I would not want to take this journey without you. You make me. And we are doing this together, and we're going to continue to run it up, and this is only a tip of the iceberg. What's up, friends? Y'all ready to get started with the show? Yeah. Let's get it, y'all. Let's get it. Listen, and let me make sure that I put this in there. For those of y'all that did not grow up in the church, this is the way that we acknowledge God, and we show love to God by showing love to each other. You can't show love to nobody. You don't even know him. The way that you show you love God is to show you love the people that he put on this earth right in front of you, all right? And so everything we pray in Jesus' name. Where 2 or 3 is gathered in his name, there he is in the midst of thee. Let's get it. Let's rock. Let's clear it out. Let's make sure we get the likes up. Make sure you subscribe if you've been here more than one time. That means you love what we do and you're looking to come back. Make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications. I'm going to read the super chats. I'm going to read the cash apps right after we get into quick hits. But first, we got to do our housekeeping. So make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. The link to the Discord that's attached to the Patreon is in the description of any of the most recent videos inside of it. Also, get your Tiege Hanley. 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Thank you, Tiege, for continuing to hold us down. and then get your tickets to come and kick it with me on December 14th in Detroit. We are going to have a good time, and I'm going to have my friends with me in discount code Anton. Make sure you hit apply, and we going to run it up, all right? Y'all ready to get started with the show? Shout out to Baltimore. Shout out to all of my people. I see y'all. Georgia in the building. What up? Michigan, Detroit. What up, though? All of my people across the world. I love you. I appreciate y'all. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Reading Cash Apps and Super Chats shortly, but we got to get into Quick Hits, baby. Quick Hits is a segment of the show that we don't necessarily think that we need to dedicate an entire segment to, but we definitely want to keep you guys in the loop on what's going on in the streets, man. All right, first things first, San Francisco Mayor London Breed has conceded because she has been voted out of office. Check it out.
She is out after a decade of influence in San Francisco, first as a supervisor, and for the last 6 years as mayor. London Breed is done. Breed officially conceded to political newcomer Daniel Lurie. We just heard from her in the last half hour. Now, a new round of votes showed Lurie leading the race with 56% of the vote. A number, Breed said, appeared at this moment insurmountable. Our Gia Vang is live at City Hall where Breed just spoke. And Gia, on election night, Breed said it ain't over till it's over. Apparently, she now feels it's over.
She says we have to move on. London Breed officially conceded around 4:30 today, and then she spoke to media inside room 200 here at City Hall, and that was within the hour. And then she also said that she called Daniel Lurie, the now mayor-elect, to congratulate him. And Jessica, as you mentioned, it all happened shortly after the latest results from the elections office show her again trailing Lurie in the ranked choice race, saying the numbers were clear. She was at about 44% while Lurie was at 56%. Some political analysts, they say this is a rebuke of the mayor and her administration, but Breed defended her time in office, saying she's proud of the work that she's done. Now, she is the city's first black mayor, first coming into office in 2017, first black woman mayor, I should say, coming into office in 2017.
Let this be a lesson for all of y'all that decided that y'all wanted to vote in on identity politics. And Azriel is right. Azriel says this election was a complete revolt against the left, the far left, and I love it. Y'all got to stop voting these people in that's destroying y'all cities. London Breed, even the people over there in California, in liberal California, said that we want out of there. We don't care about if she black. We don't care about if she a woman. That's nice. Identity politics time is over. It's a complete revolt against the left. I agree with you, Azriel.
17 when she stepped in after the sudden death of then Mayor Ed Lee. But Breed is clear the campaign is over, and she has promised to ensure a smooth transition.
Being mayor of the city has been the absolute honor of my life. I am really grateful and excited about what is happening in this city. It's starting to look good and feel good, and the city is on the rise. Ultimately, decisions about, anything in the future will be up to the incoming mayor. But in the meantime, my plan in the next 2 months is to continue to move San Francisco forward and to ensure that there is a smooth transition.
So I'm not too familiar with this new mayor that's coming into San Francisco. I know that Mayor Shane Tao, I'm watching that closely to figure out what's going on with that recall over in Oakland. But the people over in San Francisco have spoken. They don't want any more crime. They don't want people to just run around druggies. We see businesses leaving San Francisco at a fast pace. And I think that also rolls up in the Governor Gavin Newsom. I think that Gavin Newsom could be running and putting himself in a position to run for president in 2028. So we'll keep an eye on that. Anton like to pay attention to local politics as well as in the international politics space. So in addition to that, I did not miss this, but it was so much going on over the last week that I didn't have the capacity to bring this to the front of the congregation. But the same way Pepsi shut down over in Chicago, they shut down over in Cincinnati also. Take a look.
A big group of people just thrown out. Your service, nothing.
So about 150 workers will be out of a job come the new year after PepsiCo announced production operations will end at the Cincinnati facility. In a statement, the multi-billion-dollar company says its decision was made to optimize the plant by turning into a scaled warehouse. Brenda Ordonez is live speaking to laid-off workers who said this really was a shock.
Yeah, Trisha, the worker I spoke to has been working here at the PepsiCo for about 33 years. She says while the abrupt layoff did come as a shock, she did notice some cracks in this facility over the last couple years.
You didn't get to say goodbye. You didn't get to say goodbye to your supervisors, and you didn't get to say goodbye to a lot of people.
After 33 years at PepsiCo's Cincinnati facility, it's not the send-off Anne imagined, just 6 months shy of her retirement.
What infuriates you is they're standing there, and they're just looking at a small group, reading off their paper like it's a prepared speech. But it's not just that 40 people standing there. Every one of those people has anywhere from 2 to 5 people next to them. It's their kids, it's their spouses.
On Monday, Anne, along with a handful of her coworkers, were notified the plant would be discontinuing production operations, leaving her and 135 others without a job.
They had boxes already lined up in the hallway for you to come down the hallway, take a box, go in and clean out your locker, and go. You'll be paid for till December 28th, and your medical will be covered till December 28th. And then that's it.
In a statement, PepsiCo confirmed production operations will completely shut down on December 28th, but the facility will continue operating a scaled warehouse, noting the decision was made to optimize its manufacturing network.
It's been slow for probably almost 2 years. This was the worst summer we ever had, as long as I've been there. Usually we're working all kinds of overtime during the summer, and this summer there were days where they didn't have enough to run the whole day, those shifts.
A state
Yeah, if you've ever been laid off before, I think that you kind of develop thicker skin and you kind of start to anticipate it, and you never put your stock into a company. I do also believe that the failure of a lot of companies inside of the United States of America today can largely be contributed to some of the policies and the things that we've seen be implemented over the last 3.5 years. So that is what's happening for PepsiCo. I pray for the families of people that get laid off, but it should be an opportunity, and you should gird up, and you got to develop thicker skin as a result of it. And then last but not least, the Fed cut rates by 1/4 point yesterday, and so interest rates are tending to already starting to go down, along with the 50 basis points that they cut rates last time. Take a look.
The Federal Reserve announcing it will lower interest rates even further, a decision that impacts everything from those home loans to credit cards. Let's bring in NBC's senior business correspondent, Christine Romans. Christine, good Friday to you. So, I mean, this would seem to be yet another sign that the Fed Reserve is bullish on the economy. Yeah. What are the practical effects of this?
And thinks that inflation is coming under control. You know, that was something that really drove the election, but the Fed is basically saying inflation is getting back to normal. The economy is still strong, so we can trim interest rates a little bit, just a little bit here. And the expectation is they do it again in December and maybe pause in January. Why? Because the economy is so strong. They don't want to cut rates too much and then have inflation come back. So that's kind of the tightrope that the Fed is walking here. What it means for you, mortgage rates are still stuck there around 7%. So we haven't seen a lot of relief there, but maybe credit card interest rates, when you borrow money to buy a new car, those rates should start to drift down a little bit.
Why are mortgage rates not coming down?
Because the bond market is telling us it's worried about the Trump administration and potentially a lot of debt and deficits and maybe inflation so the stock market is cheering a second Donald Trump term, and the bond market is like sending some flashing signals like yields are rising because they're a little bit concerned that if Trump does everything that he wants to do, that could be inflationary in the U.S. and could add to debt and deficit. So it's the market trying to sort of figure out what the next months are going to look like.
That was an interesting exchange with Jerome Powell and that reporter asking what would happen if he got fired, and he said he's not going anywhere. Dig into that.
So Donald Trump has been critical of Jerome Powell, the Fed chief, many times, and he wanted him sometimes to lower rates. And he was, by the way, appointed by Donald Trump to this job in the Fed. And the Fed chief was asked, if Donald Trump asks you to resign, as some of Trump's advisors want him to, would you? And Jerome Powell said, I would not. And he said, if they try to demote you or put new people in their places, and he said that is not allowed not permitted under law. So it was the Fed chief saying, I'm here. My job is to make sure the job market stays strong and inflation is under control, and I'm going to finish that job.
How long is that?
So, again, they cut it by more basis points, which basically means that over time, and I believe that they will continue to cut interest rates all through 2025. I'm going to stay on top of that. Y'all know we got Block Club, which is the alternative to Stock Club. Block Club inside of the Patreon is where we talk about real estate, the cost of it, what's the best move, how you can get into it, whether or not it makes sense to take out money, borrow money, what are the interest rates, what are the impacts of it. But credit card interest rates, money is going to be cheaper to borrow over a period of time, and I think that it's time for people to start gearing up to get into that bag. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your quick hits. All right, let me acknowledge some of these cash apps first before we go into the super chats, because I always want to show love to the people that show love to me. ESDC, I appreciate you. Thank you, my friend. Mike, that dude, I appreciate you also. And Chris James. Chris James, he said, man, we up. Thank you, Chris James. Thank you for always holding me down and showing love to what we got going on over here at the Millionaire Morning Show. Let me read some of these super chats. Gab, G-A-B, Light Too Bright says, I got a super sticker for you. Thank you, Gab. You got a few of these. Let me read some of these. Had another super sticker. Let's just say 5 super stickers in total. Thank you, Gab. I appreciate you for always holding us down before we even got started with the show. That is very, very much appreciated, my friend. Thank you. You are great. Breon says, I ordered that Tiege pack. It's awesome. Thank you. Make sure y'all get y'all Tiege and don't rock out with any other Tiege except for the one from the Millionaire Morning Show. P. Shank is always showing me love. Shout out to P. Shank. Says, morning, Mr. Anton Daniels and the Millionaire Morning Show. Anton, great hope to me, you in Boston, Aries gang. Shout out to my Aries people out here in the chat. I appreciate you. Kiz, shout out to Kiz. I appreciate you also. Black Tony says, Tiege Hanley commercial, Anton doing, I think he needs a Head and Shoulders one. Y'all want me to get the Head and Shoulders commercial? I'm hiring a new sales manager to go out there and get me some more sponsorships. We working on that. Lakia Stewart, I appreciate you. Kev says, Anton, did you see Trump's video on what he plans to do on day one? I have, but we going to do things in order. I'm on it. David Williams says, Trump put out a 4-minute video outlining his 10 steps, including jailing doctors who provide gender-affirming care for minors and term limits. Yep, I am familiar with it. I'm going to be going over it on the Anton Daniels channel later on today. Ashley Patterson says, Anton, I missed the show. And ATL, please come back to Georgia. I'm really thankful I came across your channel. It has blessed me tremendously, and I joined the Patreon. Let me give a shout out to everybody that's happening. Ashley, I'm going to be back in Georgia sometime in 2025. Come and see me in December. Come kick it with your boy. We're going to go ice skating or something like that over December 14th over here in Detroit. Discount code Anton. Come kick it. Listen, 2 biggest hubs in the United States of America. Atlanta's first. Detroit is Delta's second biggest hub. It's a 2 hour and 45-minute flight. Come kick it with your boy. Get you a room at MGM. Let's go party, you know. I like fried rice. G says, wake up daily. Looking forward to this show. Thank you, fried rice. Eric Wealth Harris says, Eric Adams is stopping government funding for migrants. I think he wants that pardon. We gonna get there. We getting to that. We talking about that today. Daily Discourse. Wait a minute. Did I put a title on this show? I didn't even put the link in the chat, did I? We'll get there. I'll fix that shortly. I was here when you hit 100K on 2 channels at the exact same date. Oh, you remember that. Shout out to you. That's unheard of. My old name is, shout out to R2O Reacts. You and KS saved my life and my future. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for continuing to support me. I didn't even put a title on this video. Moving too fast. We thank you, King. I thank you too, Val, the trucking goddess. What's up, baby? The Jeweled Alchemy Soap Company says, happy Friday, Anton, and shout out to the Chasers. Anton, please, ask Miss Rita if she, like the scent of Satsuma, we're sending a package and it's our latest soap fragrance. Okay, I got you, Jeweled Alchemy Soap. I got you. She should be coming here sometime today. AD joined the Bag Chasers. Trump ain't in office yet, and Putin is chilling. Hamas is chilling, and Eric Adams shut the free debit cards down. Man is lethal. We gonna get there. Let's see what we got. Just joined Stock Club. Thanks for sharing all of your knowledge and helping us run up a bag. Let's run it up, Chasers. Appreciate you. What in the World TV says from last night, Equilibrium is my favorite movie. Really? Ain't that what Tay Diggs in it or something like that? I remember that movie. Zach says, yo, AD, bro, I sent you an email last night from Zach Drew. Best content on YouTube. Thank you, my friend. We read all of them. We got to get to it. Good morning, AD. I won't be on the live this AM, but tell them ninjas don't forget to scan the QR code if they don't know the group assignments. I'm coming up on the rough side of the mountain, not the Bag Chasers. Shout out to High Tolerance. I appreciate you. Yellow Baby. says, I'm a Muslim from Detroit. What up, though? And I love Anton. Love Anton and his platforms and all that you do. I watch and support daily. Thank you, Yellow Baby. I appreciate you. Nahum. What up, Nahum? Nahum says, hey, Anton, we still have a lot of work to do because 91% of black women vote for her and 77% of black men still voting for her. Shaking my head. Richard Nixon didn't lie when he says he's going to have them voting liberal for the next 200 years. I agree with you. We working. The work don't stop. Morning, AD, can you discuss the DOE issues a little bit? It's a lot of narratives going around. Shout out to Just Incredible. I appreciate you. Nicholas Henry says you were right. 1,700 new millionaires in a day. I told you I was right. Don't agree with the political views, but appreciate the game. I'm 80 plus K a year in tech and AR, so I'm good. Shout out to you, Nick. I'm glad you're hearing me out, big dog. We got to be open. I appreciate you in this community. The Baltimore mayor is out here Center for Black Women saying we don't deserve them after Kamala's loss. You have a governor in Illinois and New York talking about Trump. We're going to get there. Chris Mayberry says New York is going to stop food vouchers for migrants in January. Nicholas Henry says also thinking about joining the Patreon. I want to get in REI. Is that REIT? Says you want to get into REIT. Sending love to you. What up to my girl Brittany? Brittany be falling off and disappearing and hiding in the clouds, but we love you, Brittany. Nicole Shaw says transported you from Midway to O'Hare. Keep loving. Shout out to my girl Nicole. I love that hairstyle, Nicole. You look so cute. I'm gonna come to you in a minute, Kenyon. Francisco says, as a Latino, the Democrats blaming us and calling us bigots is wild. They're going to lose the Latino vote forever if they keep shaming us. They already lost y'all. Larry Summers says Tesla just hit 318. I bought puts. Wish me luck. You ain't got to work on luck. All we got to do is continue to tap into the Patreon stock club this weekend. Kenyon, what up, Kenyon? Just turned 55 on 7 miles a day, 300G per year as a software developer, getting 5 hours sleep a night. Boule frat member, but 100%, 110% on Trump. Wife is 33. I need that coaching call, bro. I need bigger bags. We own it. We reinstating the coaching calls at the beginning of next year. Thank you, my friend, for continuing to hold me down, and congratulations for living that phenomenal life. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the show. So first things first, Trump is naming a new chief of staff, and RFK Jr. is looking to overhaul the FDA. All right, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get it popping.
Donald Trump has made his first major decision as president-elect, naming Susie Wiles as his White House chief of staff. In a statement, the president-elect wrote, quote, Susie Wiles just helped me achieve one of the greatest political victories in American history and was an integral part of both my 2016 and 2020 successful campaigns. Susie is tough, smart, innovative, and is universally admired and respected. It is a well-deserved honor to have Susie as the first ever female chief of staff in United States history. I have no doubt that she will make our country proud.
Susie also served as an advisor to Tudor Dixon's gubernatorial campaign, and Tudor joins us now. Good morning to you. So Susie Wiles is someone who is rarely seen in the media, but she has made a huge impact when it comes to Republican politics. So tell us a little bit more about her and how she'll serve Donald Trump as White House chief of staff.
Well, she's rarely seen because she has no ego. She is an amazing woman. She is a perfect combination of talent and toughness. She does not let any shenanigans go on around her, but she also understands how to take care of her boss. She doesn't try to control him. She was the originator of let Trump be Trump, and that was the most effective strategy she could possibly have. She did not shy away from long-form interviews. She didn't shy away from the McDonald's experience, the garbage man experience. She knew that.
Hey, somebody time out Party Academy. No spam in the chat. No spam in the chat. Let's continue.
Trump had this innate way of meeting people where they are and reaching people, and she embraced that. But she also doesn't let people do anything around him. We in the first term, we saw a lot of leakers. We saw a lot of shenanigans in the White House. That's not going to happen with Susie Wiles because, like I said, she's not only tough, she's talented, and people respect her. Last night when I heard this, my phone blew up. People were just overwhelmed with excitement to see this historic pick. They know she's going to be incredible at this job, and she's a winner.
Are you concerned in any way about her lack of time in D.C. Admittedly, she did spend some time in D.C., but it was 1979, 1980, and obviously she's been back and handling stuff in the political world. But she really is an on-the-ground operative at this point. So are you concerned that her lack of D.C. experience will hurt?
What a blessing to not have some experience with the people in the swamp trying to bend your ear. She's going to go in there and they're afraid of her. That's the best part about this. This is a woman who just ran a Fortune 500 company overnight, and she was incredibly successful at it. This is the best case scenario for the United States of America. We don't want someone going in there that has already made deals with people, that has loyalties to people. Susie Wiles is going in there for the American people, and that's the most exciting news I could ever possibly hear about this administration.
Yeah.
I was going to say the exact same thing. I am incredibly excited about the fact that there are people that are a part of this administration that is anti-establishment. They are not lifetime politicians. They are business people. They looking to do the thing that's in the best interest of the United States of America. I don't want people that's already a part of the establishment in the establishment anymore. That's the whole idea behind draining the swamp. That's the whole idea behind Trump becoming president of the United States of America. I loved her strategy and let Trump be Trump. But more importantly, I think this also sends a message to women. This sends a message to the left. They are so far out of touch that they have no clue what's really going on around them. They don't have no sense of what's going on with the people. And people like authenticity. They like for you to tell them the truth. They don't want you to try to sell them a lie. They don't want you to try to get a bunch of celebrities in order to endorse them and stuff like that. She said, look, let him be what he gonna be and let the people really see what he really about. And the people voted and they decided that they wanted him in office. More importantly, I thought he was misogynist. I thought he was a misogynist. I thought he was misogynistic. Nobody is afraid of strong women being around us. As a matter of fact, we love it. Smart men love incredible women. And we see you for more than just being a woman. But we also acknowledge the fact that you can leverage things that we don't know or things that we can't experience in order to get more out of us or more out of a situation. The majority of people that work for me, overwhelmingly 80% of everybody that works for me are women. 80% of everybody that works for me, outside of the construction industry, outside of building homes, all of those guys are men, but a lot of those people that's running the companies are women. And so nobody is ever misogynistic. Listen, we think from a business perspective, we are about results. The reason why the identity politics campaign did not succeed in this election is because when the rubber meets the road, to select somebody based off of affirmative action, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and identity politics is not only the wrong decision, but it's bad for your pocketbooks. If a woman is in a position to put you in the best position possible, get there. Get there. And this is what Trump is showing you. We don't care about identity politics. We care about the person. Think about this for a minute. The first person that he implemented in his administration is a woman. The person that he entrusted to ultimately get him to the White House again was a woman. How can you be a misogynist? How can you be a fascist? How can you be all of these things that they tried to paint him out to do when the very people that he deployed, the Laura Trumps, in order to get him there was women?
You know, it will be very interesting to see Donald Trump fill out his cabinet and who he selects for these key positions. In 2016, there were a lot of people who he says did not serve him well. We saw it unfold in a pretty dramatic way. But then you have tweets from a Democrat Congressman, Jared Moskowitz out of Florida, said, "Congrats to Susie Wild. I worked with her in the DeSantis administration. She is brilliant, tough, strategic. She will serve our country well." That's coming from a Democrat. So with selections like this, does it indicate that there will be less drama when it comes to staffing around Donald Trump during his next administration?
Absolutely. We are all so excited about what's going on in this next administration. It will be the most historic administration in the history of the country. I know that he is bringing together an amazing team. Susie is going to help him with that. Susie, I just have to tell, my personal experience with her is that she is always available, always willing to sit down with you, always willing to go through every scenario with you and help you play out what is the best thing you can do for yourself and for the people. This is going to be the most amazing administration that the country has ever seen because of the combination of Donald Trump, Susie Wiles, and J.D. Vance. I could not tell you anything about this other than you are going to be amazed and overwhelmed by what's going on.
But here's the thing. Let me tell you how incredible this cabinet is. And I've always been championing the fact that the Republican Party in this cabinet got a bullpen. They got people lined up that's going to kick butt and take names, which is one of the reasons why Kamala Harris lost this campaign, is because people were asking her, hey, why would you do anything? What would you do different than the current administration? And she was like, well, I'm a different person. Yeah, but you're the same person that was just in the White House a second ago, right? Donald Trump made some incredible picks. And one of the most incredible picks that he made, and shout out to my girl Carrie last night because she is excited about this. One of the most incredible picks that he's also made is RFK Jr. And what is RFK Jr. doing? RFK Jr. is attacking a system. And this is the real definition of a systematic oppression. I wouldn't even say oppression, but I don't even know what you would put the word in afterwards. Systematic something. Our food. And RFK Jr. was a person that is a proponent of changing the way that we eat and removing the poison that is happening in our food system. And a lot of people that have never been outside of the country, they don't even know what it's like to taste food that don't have all of these chemicals in it. They don't know what it's like to actually have your children grow up without all of these growth hormones in it. They don't know what it's like to not be poisoned from the inception and from the beginning of your pregnancy. And so he put in people that was part of an independent party and brought in the best and the brightest and the ones that's the most passionate about what it is that we got putting into our bodies. And RFK Jr. is doing exactly what Trump said that he should do, and to come in and clear out the entire departments and build it from the ground up of the FDA. Check it out.
With the White House secured, President-elect Trump is ready to enact his Make America Healthy Again agenda. RFK Jr. says it's time to clear out entire departments in the FDA. But what exactly does that look like? Here with reaction, Fox News senior medical analyst Dr. Mark Siegel. Dr. Siegel, thanks for being with us. What would that look like? What does he want to clean out?
Well, it sounds like he's focusing mainly, at least to begin with, on the food part of FDA. Remember, FDA is Food Drug Administration. Right. Now, with food, it's a mess. I mean, we're talking about 75% of the stuff in supermarkets is ultra-processed foods. You know what an ultra-processed food is? It can't remember what soil it came from. It can't remember what farm it was grown on.
If women really cared about women, then they would be advocating for RFK Jr. like Carrie Spencer was. When Carrie was saying, listen, we need to pay attention to what they feeding us. We need to pay attention to what they putting inside of your bodies. If women cared about what was best for women, then they would vote for Trump, which they overwhelmingly did, but they wouldn't even be on this hate train of Trump because Trump is putting into place the things that's going to be best for your children. You want to know what's best for your children? What they got in your school lunches. You want to know what's best for your children? This education system that's corrupt that needs to be reformed. You want to know what's best for your children? Fixing this food that y'all putting inside of y'all bodies, that y'all passing on to y'all children, and all of these chemicals that's now being put. See, it's so many things working against y'all, and y'all focus on the wrong, stupid thing. You focus on something that you can control yourself, but you're not focused on the thing that's best for you.
It's been so chemicalized that it doesn't have any connection to the original food it was. And it's why we have an obesity epidemic in this country. 40% of Americans are obese, leads to all kinds of diseases that I treat. Heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, heart attacks, and yes, even cancer, multiple cancers. So that's a good place to start because we're spending $4 $4 trillion on our healthcare in this country. It's a sick care system, not a healthcare system. And the FDA, and one more point about this, they're also in charge of outbreaks, Ainsley. We have over 1,700 multi-state outbreaks of foodborne illness. 48 million Americans are getting sick from the food they eat every year, and that's also under FDA's umbrella.
And I believe that A, is a form of population control. That's number one. And then B, I also think that it's profitable for the food manufacturers. That's number two. And C, I think that the FDA is corrupt. That's number three. And then D, here's the most important part. It's profitable to keep you in the hospital and sick. And so instead of us being proactive as to why we continue to need to be in the hospital and spend so much money on healthcare, we sitting there talking about a universal healthcare system that's profiting off of keeping you and fixing the symptoms or treating the symptoms and not actually getting to the source of why we messed up in the first place. It's people that go to other countries and get healthy and come back here and be like, dang, I ain't even realized how bad the food is. We never want to get to the source and fix what's wrong with us proactively. We spend so much money on cancer treatment, so much money on symptom treatment, so much money on going to the hospital instead of spending our resources and our monies to prevent us from being sick in the first place. Y'all letting them poison y'all for profit. Finally, you got some people that's outside of the establishment to go into these places, and y'all are so afraid. Oh my God, they're going to break down the system that's been keeping us depressed, sick, and broke for all of these years. Finally, you got an opportunity. First time in your life, you got an opportunity to do something different, and y'all sitting there talking about, oh my God, they're going to take away our rights. No, they're going to free you. They're going to free you from this system that's keeping you broke, depressed, sick, and toe up, and with cancer.
And they're very, very limp in that area.
When we were interviewing RFK Jr., he said some things that were pretty shocking, like French fries at McDonald's, maybe made with 3 ingredients in Europe, but here made with, I don't remember the number, but 10, 20 ingredients that aren't healthy for you. Fruit Loops, different dyes, he said, are in our cereal, but the same cereal made in Europe is not allowed to use those products. So why, this is America, why are we allowed to put these products that are illegal in Europe? And you go to Europe and you eat clean and you feel great after you eat pasta and pizza, you don't gain any weight. But here, why are we allowed to put those terrible chemicals in our food that our children are eating?
It's simple. We shouldn't be. And I just told you, I just returned from Europe. I could actually eat pasta and dessert again, and I didn't gain a pound there because.
And your taste buds, your palate, it changes, it adjusts. You don't get all of these super full of sugar and GMOs and HMOs and HEAU and ho-hos. You get to actually enjoy your food, not be sick, don't have to go and take a bunch of pills at the end of the night in order for you to sleep. Don't be up running back and forth to the bathroom all day long. And then you toe up and then your babies is coming out with 4 eyes all at the same time and they look like an alien. You can finally breathe.
Because it doesn't have those ingredients you're talking about. Canada also doesn't have it. Fruit Loops here in the United States, multiple chemicals. And as RFK Jr. says, in Canada, 2 or 3 ingredients. We don't police the amount of chemicals in our foods. They also interfere with fertility. That's one I didn't mention.
Right.
And when you become obese, you get diabetes a lot of the time. Then you have other multiple problems. Yeah. Now, he has a history as a social reformer, environmental activist. That's his background. So I'm very interested in his approach towards the food we eat.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I think that this is a win on every front. On every front, what I see happening in this administration is a win so far. And I'm going to be objective. I'm going to call out the BS. When I see something that I don't agree with, I am going to address it and I'm going to call it out and I'm going to say where it's wrong. But as of right now, 3 days into president-elect, I don't see anything wrong with any of the appointments that he's putting up. I think that his chief of staff is awesome. I think that RFK addressing the FDA concerns is awesome. And we just going to play it by ear from there. And again, I don't censor anybody here. So if anybody in the chat feels differently, if y'all think that I get it wrong, don't feel free to call me out. And we're going to have a conversation about it and bring me to the front of the congregation. As of right now, I think that this is a win for the people. As of right now, no, don't hit me with that, Eric D. No, I just literally gave y'all permission to call me out. And Eric D is already approaching this with cynicism because his candidate lost. Eric D., get it together. I am always open to the possibility that I'm wrong, and I believe that I'm not above reproach. So bring me to the front of the congregation if you see it's wrong. But as of right now, these two picks are absolutely awesome. Shout out to Trump, shout out to RFK Jr., and shout out to his new chief of staff. Let me read these super chats and let's get to it. Let's get to it. We got a lot to cover. We got to cover this migrant crisis. The borders is about to be overrun. We're going to deal with that. Nicholas Henry, shout out to you, says real estate investments. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Miss Crow T. Shetty, thank you for the super sticker. Shout out to Miss Crow T. Shetty. Has anybody seen Sister? Has anybody got her information? Has anybody seen Sister? If anybody got Sister's information, if she's ever said anything inside of the Discord, y'all send me that information because we got to check up on her. I haven't heard from her in a while. And so I always like to remember the people. Listen, no matter how big I get, no matter how visible I become, y'all are my family. And so when I see certain people not typing in the chat, when I see certain people disappear, I need to know what's happening. So if anybody has seen Sister, if anybody has seen her lately, or if anybody got her information, or if she's ever typed inside of the Discord, inside of the Patreon, y'all please send me the information or reach out to her and let me know that y'all have talked to her because I need to check on her. I want to make sure that she's okay, all right? She good? She was just busy? Okay, Sabrina. Well, as long as you know that she's busy, all right, Sabrina, I like that. So y'all got to make sure that y'all stay on top of things. Make sure y'all stay on top of things. I'm glad that she's okay and that she's just busy. I just wanted to check in. Or she was in a Discord on Saturday with your car, Clavetta. All right. Tell her I said what up. Tell her to don't be a stranger. Tell her to type in the chat so that I can make sure that because I haven't seen her in at least a month. I ain't seen her in the chat in at least a month. So as long as she was in the Discord, as long as she was talking, then that's good. That's good. All right. So just let her know that I love her. Let her know that we ain't forgot about her. And that, I know I got 1,000 things going on. And I don't always mention the first thing that come to my head. But I just want to let y'all know that this is really, honest to God, that we are a family over here. We straight up family. We fight like siblings. We disagree. Eric D is family. He our rebellious little brother. All of that, all right? So tell her I said what up. Tell her I said I love her and tell her that, we miss her. We miss seeing her. We miss seeing her curls, her profile, all right? Let me read some more of these super chats and then we're going to get there, all right? Corey says, peace, Anton, been in Detroit the last 4 months on work. I absolutely love it here. It's dope, ain't it? This is a great city. It is one of the best places to live. It's still affordable. It's going up. It's a phenomenal city. Now you know. Keelan, shout out to Keelan. Keelan says, good morning, AD. I just want to give you a shout out. I just got promoted again with Dr. Pepper on my vacation. Haven't even got my pay raise yet. Everything is looking up from here. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Shout out to Keelan. Congratulations. We love it. We love it. We love it. Yeah, now we got to make sure that you keep more of your money in your pocket, all right? 803 MGTV says, Anton, I was looking at the election map and zoomed into Cali, and most of it was red with a fraction of blue. I think something is wrong with that. No, they have dense cities. And so the cities are the ones that's going to swing the elections in Chicago, New York, California, all of that. Did you see Gavin Newsom just filed a lawsuit against Trump for something that he might do when he takes office? I haven't. We going to cover it. We got time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Podcast says he playing chess, CHESS. I know that that's a typo. Not checkers. Pay attention. I like that. Shout out to you, baby. Ray Sean, my dog. What a time to be a chaser. Ray Sean, thank you for the card. Thank you for what you gave me at the show on in Atlanta. I love you, bro. My greatest student of all time is Ray Sean. Shout out to him. My dog. I love you, Ray Sean. Cynthia Haynes says, good morning, Anton. All is good. I still need to be a supportive, brilliant black woman in this cabinet mixture. You got it. All right, I see you, Cynthia. What up? What up, Elias? What up, though? What's going on, my friend? I appreciate you. Smart men love intelligent women. I just found your show as I was scrolling. I now love it. Welcome to the family. We love you, too. Welcome to coming in and kicking it with us. We always like to add value into people's lives. Me and my brother at work were just talking about a Trump W. Then some older brother from Atlanta overheard us and was looking at us like Samuel Jackson looked at Jacob when he saw him. Who that him on that nag? Shout out to Mr. Youngblood City. Always been rocking with me for a long time, for years now. April, what up? Which is why people started trying to grow their own produce. Me and my friends started a year ago, just basic veggies, but the difference is amazing. Good morning, April. Keelan, what up, Keelan? Keelan says, I forgot to say that this is the best morning show on earth. Best show on earth. I'll keep listening to your advice and watching your videos and watching your actions. Much love and respect, AD. Shout out to Keelan. I appreciate you. Telltale Walk says, ultra processed is so bad because it attacks the brain rather than satiety. Tricks the brain into liking it. Food will leave you hungry in a vicious cycle. Yeah, it's bad. Miss G, what up, Miss G? Says, good morning, Anton. Come on down to Nashville. I love Nashville. My favorite hotel is the Gaylord Opryland. I love Nashville. I love downtown. I love going to visit Vanderbilt, all of that. Join the Chasers. Y'all think we should go to Nashville next? I love Nashville. Enforcer 2K9 says, I think that these women are really upset about what these women are really upset about is that Trump is going to take away their right to be a victim. They value victimhood over everything. P. Shank says, the federal government has too many employees that are paid with taxpayer money. Anytime more jobs added from federal versus the private sector, that's problematic. I am so excited. Me too, me too. A.R. Smitty goes on to say that standard American diet is sad. Self-Made Forever says it's interesting to see AD go from his stomping ground days at the LP network to having a phenomenal success on his own. Here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. I was popping before I ever brought them into the fold in the first place. So it was me, then them, then me after them. That's what a lot of people don't know. Some people found me when I was bringing it up over there, but trust and believe, Anton been doing this for a long time. Spent 1 week in Japan, and it amazes me that the food was half the portion, besides it's twice as filling. Treats were half as sweet, but delicious. It was great. When I visited Tokyo last year, it was awesome. They upset because we're saving them from themselves. Shout out to Libra Justice. Blazenio says, this is why we cook most of our food from scratch with organic-based ingredients. We limit processed food. Modern women can't cook anymore. I don't know. I know some women that can whip it up. Refrigeration Devil says, as a health conscious man, I'm elated that this is going to finally happen. Me too. Sadie's Butler says, you may recall that I asked about sister the other day. I do remember you did. Thank you so much for pausing and asking about it. Thank you. God bless you, Anton. God bless you too. We're a family. Dre Harrison goes on to say, the drug administration is so corrupt. Food is a drug in America used to keep people in the cycle of sickness. There's no money in a cured patient. Hopefully the overhaul of the FDA tackles this. Be Easy says, let's ask Q to bring Eric D on After Hours panel to substantiate his arguments. Londi 429 says, AD right, it's all by design to make the legacy food dynasties rich. All should check out some food docs out there. Knowledge is power. Thank you for your voice and platform. The Avengers is taking over. Let's go. King, what up, King? King says, are you aware that Detroit now expects Bitcoin? I am aware of that. I am aware of that. Peace and blessings. AD just joined the Chasers and looking forward to running it up. So one day I can retire my parents. Blessings so and others. Get Mika the ring that she deserves. I like that. Carmen says, I sent a liberal friend of mine a few of your videos, and she's adamant that illegal immigration isn't a problem. Both of us are daughters of legal immigrants, yet have opposite morals, plus I make 3 times more than it's a reason. Is you logical? Sean S. goes on to say, AD been struggling a bit because job interviews keep falling through. I appreciate a prayer, not for things to be easier, but the strength to persevere while other things come. Sean, did you look at the video that I got in the Patreon, Interview Like a King? Go look at that video, Interview Like a King in the Patreon, and see how that changes everything. Lord, bless Sean. Continue to help him to endure, because the race isn't given to the swift, but is given to he who endureth to the end. You say where 2 or 3 are gathered in your name, there you are in the midst of us. Help him, bless him, and prepare him, and help him to understand that everything that he's been through is a stepping stone. It's a learned experience, and it's an opportunity for him to grow. So when he finally gets it, he's going to appreciate it, and he's going to make the most of it. In Jesus' name, amen. Shout out to my dog, Sean. And yours is coming, big dog. It's coming to you, big dog. Greetings from Japan, Anton. I'm so happy President Trump won. We support him over in Japan as well. Love your show. Shout out to my Japanese people. I love Tokyo. That was my favorite city. Bucharest is kind of rivaling y'all right now, but I love Tokyo. Michaela would be an awesome press secretary too. I agree. Shout out to my girl Michaela. I just kicked it with her over the weekend, last weekend. Good morning, all fellas. Keep running your household properly. Thou shalt runneth up a bag. God bless all. Shout out to all of the bag chasers and everybody that support the platform. I'm going to continue to read y'all super chats throughout the show, but we got to get to the next segment, all right? So let's talk about Mexico right now. Because right now, as I emphasized prior to the election, that there was a ton of migrant caravans that were looking to come over here to the United States of America, right? And one of the weak links is Mexico. Now, if you've been rocking with the Millionaire Morning Show for any length of time, you know that I've also covered the Mexican election, who they've recently elected a woman. I think her name is Dr. Scheinbaum or something like that. Claudia Scheinbaum, if I'm not mistaken. If I get that wrong, forgive me. But they've recently elected the first female president over in Mexico. Now, the Trump administration is saying, we want Mexico to get a hold of what they got going on in their country, because what they do over there, because they are neighbor, is affecting what we do over here. It's similar to when you have a neighbor in your neighborhood. And one of the reasons why we've had HOAs is to start to regulate that. But we don't want to regulate you. We just want you to do the right thing, because when you take care of your lawn and you stop letting Pookie and Ray Ray come over and park on your lawn and playing loud music at night, then guess what? All of our properties rise in value. And so right now, Mexico is in a interesting space because they're trying to figure out how to approach this administration that is about to come in, considering that Trump has already said that he's going to be tough on illegal immigration into this country. Not legal migration, but illegal immigration into this country. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Make sure that you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, and get your tickets to come and kick it with me in Detroit, December 14th. It's going to be awesome. Let's go.
Trump's election victory left many Mexicans wondering just how much of his campaign threats could turn into real policies once he takes office in January.
It's a very complicated issue. As a Mexican, I feel that he throws these threats up in the air without really understanding who we are.
Anything Trump will do will affect us. When the United States does well, it does badly for us. And if the United States does poorly, it does worse for us. We need to keep our currency strong and hope for the best.
I'm going to immediately impose
On the campaign trail, Trump repeatedly promised punishing tariffs, massive migrant deportations, and even the far-fetched but alarming suggestion that he would send U.S. soldiers to fight drug cartels into Mexico's territory. And the threats alone can have real economic consequences. The Mexican peso fell against the dollar on Wednesday, which prompted the recently elected President Claudia Sheinbaum to try to reassure the country.
To all Mexicans, there is no reason for concern. To our fellow citizens, their families here, Mexican businesswomen and businessmen, there's absolutely no reason to worry. Mexico always moves forward. We are a free, independent, and sovereign country, and there will be a good relationship with the United States.
Some analysts believe that most of Trump's rhetoric is just that, and that the challenge for Sheinbaum's government will be to know which of Trump's threats may have substance.
I do clearly believe that these are going to stay in that sense of threats. And what I mean by that is like the several of the demands that he's asking or he's going to ask from the Mexican government, which implies migration issues, border control, border security issues, and drug-related items that in general the Mexican government is going to willingly comply in order to avoid any type of trade war moving forward.
During his first presidency, Trump made threats that were equally alarming, but in the end, the tariffs he imposed were limited and temporary, and while he did tore up a major trade deal that was then replaced by one that was acceptable for Mexico. Yet some here fear that this time Trump will be more radical, and that if politically convenient, he could upend the bilateral economic and security relationship that both countries depend on, leaving Mexico and his government on edge.
Here's the thing. we shouldn't have to be in a position to go over and fight your cartels. You should get a hold of that yourself. I don't understand why y'all so concerned about rhetoric. What is so far-reaching, and I'm going to go into us over here on the American side also when they're anticipating a migrant surge following his election because they want to get as many migrants in here before January 20th as they can because they know that things are going to change. What is so radical about saying that we don't want people coming into the United States of America illegally or being trafficked by cartels? I'm just curious. Why is this a liberal versus conservative talking point? Why is this a left versus right thing? Why is this a Republican versus Democratic thing? Where am I missing it? As a conservative, as a person that has basically become Republican because I can't identify with any of these liberal mindsets or policies at this point. Where did I miss it, y'all? We have laws on the books that says that you cannot cross over into our borders. And if you do that in any other country, boy, you're going to be in an internment camp. You're going to be in jail. They're going to be looking at you as a spy, and then we're going to be sending the Russian merchant of death and trying to trade for you in order to get you back in the United States of America. You can't do that nowhere else in the world. You can't just walk over into somewhere else and get away with it. This is the only place on earth that you could just walk across the border, get a job, get food, get free housing, get free health care, get lessons for your children, and then say, listen, I dare you to try to deport me. My kids is here. What? You broke the law. You broke the law. What is so radical about saying that we want to vet who comes in here to make sure that they not killers and that people are not emptying out their prisons in order to make sure that they send them over there because they don't want to feed them and spend money on housing them and taking care of their own problem in their own countries? It's just like dumping trash in your neighbor's lawn. If I went outside, if I took all of my trash and instead of addressing it myself and paying my association fees or whatever, or paying for my trash, and instead, every time that I ate some food and the box was empty or we get done cooking, we take it and then we dump it over the fence on the neighbor's yard. And then the neighbor is going to be looking at me like, man, what you doing? I got a fence for a reason. We got property lines for a reason. You can't just keep on dumping your trash over into my space and then expecting for me to deal with it. It's costing me money. And you bring in rats and roaches and raccoons and squirrels and they over here tearing them. Now they eat my flowers and they taking dumps on my lawn and all of this stuff. This is a very easy translation for people to understand. We need secure borders. You cannot just let anybody and their mama come over and do what they want to do when they want to do it. I can't even cross over into Ohio without paying a toll. If I go to Chicago, if I drive from Michigan to Chicago, I got to pay the fee. I got to pay, and I better have a good driver's license. I got to pay the fee, and I got to have a good driver's license. But we preparing over here because they looked at this administration as weak and they anticipating a strong administration to actually enforce the rules. And so now you got migrant caravans that's looking to come over to the United States of America before Trump transitions into power.
Welcome back. President-elect Trump has big plans for immigration on day one. But the Biden-Harris administration reportedly bracing for a massive migrant surge before Trump takes office. This is in the next 90 days, 60 days. Smugglers are allegedly warning migrants they have until January to get into the United States before the 47th president locks down the border. Even before the election, senior Border Patrol and ICE officials reportedly raised concerns to the Department of Homeland Security and its head, Alejandro Mayorkas, saying that the agencies likely could not handle a potential surge if Trump won at year end. Trump began threatening consequences for the migrant caravans even before he secured the win. Watch.
Now we have a new president in Mexico. I'm going to inform her on day one or sooner that if they don't stop this onslaught of criminals and drugs coming into our country, I'm going to immediately impose a 25% tariff on everything they send in to the United States of America. Because if that doesn't work, I'll make it 50. And if that doesn't work, I'll make it 75 for the tough guys, and I'll make it 100.
There you go. He's using tariffs in a strategic way. Joining me now is Lieutenant Christopher Oliveras of the Texas Department of Public Safety. Lieutenant, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. So I want to get your take on what you're expecting at year end. How likely are we going to see a big surge in migrants to try to get through before Trump takes office? What are you seeing on the ground right now, 2 days after the election?
Good morning, Maria. Great to be with you as always. Of course, now with this, that it's been confirmed now that President Trump will be the new president going into 2025. We do anticipate that we may see a surge of potential illegal immigration taking place on the border. There has been caravans. We talked about this several times, I believe, the last time I was on the show. Anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000, these groups that are making their way to the border. Now, again, once they get to the border or even to northern Mexico, they do break up into smaller groups, and they will try to make entry in other parts along the border: El Paso, New Mexico, California, Arizona, some parts in Texas. So we are ready. I've always said this, we are ready. We still have the same resources that we've had from day one with Operation Lone Star, the amount of soldiers and state troopers that we have on the ground. So we are ready for any potential surge. We've reinforced areas along the border where there is no border wall, where there is no reinforcements. We are placing barriers along those areas. And we're actually arresting illegal immigrants that are coming across the river that are committing state crimes. So we're sending a message in Texas that we're going to make it least desirable to cross in Texas. We want to make it very difficult as well, and that we're going to try to push that flow to the west, which would be Arizona and California and those areas. So we are ready for any potential surge moving forward. And of course, even after inauguration, we will still have a single amount of manpower because it is going to take some time to actually, restore some of the damage that's been taking place over the last 4 years.
It's going to take some of the time to restore from some of the damage that we've experienced over the last 4 years. But Texas is saying that we're not having it. Now, you also have other states such as Arizona and California who are also border states who probably will be having it. So, if we can get this administration on board, because I think that a peaceful transition of power also includes not leaving a mess at the door that Trump then has to clean up and spend the next year, 2 years cleaning up before we can get back to what is normal in the United States of America. That would also be great. But I'm not banking on it. And the reason that I'm not banking on it is because I remember when the Biden administration actually sued Texas to open up their borders at the time that I was reporting on this 2 years ago, before they even started to have a conversation about enforcing federal laws. The United States of America, the Department of Justice and Homeland Security and the Biden administration actually sued Texas to open up their borders to prevent people or to allow for illegal migrants to come into this country.
On the border.
Well, Christopher, this drug cartel situation has become a massive, massive business.
Who is profiting from these businesses?
The fact that this has become so dangerous with the drug cartels deciding who comes into America and who doesn't, and then, doing businesses in the U.S., demanding those people, once they're in the U.S., continue to pay them. Do you believe that Trump would actually see this as a need for military? Do you expect that the military perhaps could come down to Texas to help? You guys have been doing this on your own. Greg Abbott and the Lone Star program has done a great job, but we're still in this position. And now we're waiting for more migrants before Trump gets elected. What do you think the solution is in terms of getting a hold on that massive drug cartel business?
Maria, I don't think that's something that we should take off the table. I think all options should be looked at, especially, when we talk about the drug cartels. We know how violent they are. We know how powerful they are, how they've been able to expand their influence, not just in Mexico, but across the entire United States, and how they have that influence with drugs and human smuggling, and also, corruption. So we're going to need more resources. Obviously, it's not going to just take, the state of Texas as well as Border Patrol agents. We're going to need more resources, and that takes military resources. They can be used in a strategic manner to gather intelligence so we can actually go after these cartels and actually combat some of this transnational criminal activity. We talked about this, over the years, how the Mexican drug cartels have adapted from drug smuggling to human smuggling, where now human smuggling has been a multi-billion-dollar criminal network for them. So
it's not even just drugs. They're actually doing human smuggling. We call that trafficking here in the United States of America. So it's a lot going on at the border. Anton is going to stay on it. I've been staying on it for the last 3 years. And I'm going to continue to have a conversation about it. Let's go over to another part of the border shortly. No More Excuses says, good morning, AD. It is sad that when things don't align with the black community, they are quick to use the book of Revelations in order to fuel their delusion. Blasphemy at this point. Most of these people don't even know the Bible. They don't even know the Word of God. They ain't read Genesis or none of it. They ain't read none of the New Testament. They ain't read Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts of the Apostles, Epistles. They ain't read Romans, Galatians, Ephesians. Tell them to read. Tell them to start reading from the beginning. Genesis, Exodus, and then go to Leviticus, Numbers, and then Deuteronomy. Then get back to Numbers, right? Deuteronomy, Joshua, then Judges. Then go over to Ruth. Go to 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st, 2nd Kings. Then tell them to go to 1st and 2nd Chronicles. Go to talk about Ezra, Nehemiah. Talk about Esther. Talk about go study Job. Let's go study David. We need to understand Paul, what his transition was. We need to start talking about every single person that's in the Word of God. Stephen. Y'all know about Stephen? Y'all know the story about Stephen inside of the Bible? How he was stoned? Y'all know about Stephen? We're going to talk about Stephen. We're going to talk about Stephen. We're going to read every book, do Bible study on y'all. Yeah, we're going to do Bible study on y'all. Yes, we are. Keep on talking about, hey, they skipped over they skipped over 65 books of the Bible, and they went straight to Revelations. They went straight to Revelations. Listen, they over there looking at Exodus, and they don't even know who Aaron is. Moses? And he was going with the bird. What about Aaron? Y'all know why? Did you know why God gave Moses Aaron? Did you know about that? Did you know that Aaron was the mouthpiece? Y'all know about Aaron. Did you know that all of the original children of Israel, they was not to see the land of milk and honey because they were so disrespectful and disobedient to the word of God? And they continued to worship idols. You know how that translates into what's going on today? Y'all don't want to talk about it. Y'all don't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk about it. See, I actually study the word of God. I know it. I deal with it. Did you know that Job's wife told him to curse God when he was going through it? You ain't know that, did you? You ain't know that, did you? No, nothing about that. Did you know why God changed Paul's name? Did you read the letter that he wrote to the Galatians? Do you know what the revelation was that God told Abraham that he was going to multiply his seed on the earth, that it would be like sand? You know what that translation was? That revelation was that came in the New Testament, the translation. Do you even understand what the covenant is between God and man after he flooded the earth? You don't know nothing about that. Don't worry about it. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. We're going to get there. All right? I'm not going to get into it. I know that y'all didn't know that I was about that life, that I'm really in that life, but I'm really about that life. Shout out to Tia Marie, too. Tia Marie says, just wanted to say I enjoyed the Antonathon electric coverage this week and all seasons. Blessings to you and Rita. Team Earthy. I'm starting to like my earthy chicks. I'm about to start walking around with no shoes on, like Eric Benet. Just pray for me. That's all I'm going to say. I got you, Aaron. God bless him. Lord, look out for him. You know, the video interview like a king had them asking me how much money I want. If y'all trying to understand how to get to the bag, go into the Patreon, search interview, and then you'll get the video interview like a king. It's going to change your life. AD Salute, been tuning in for the last 2 years now. Must say you never disappoint. You goated. Keep flowing, my friend. Thank you, LL Music TV. I appreciate you. Soul Premise says, God bless America. Love your vid about the Lakers game. Entrepreneurs for Trump. Check out Soul Premise. Check out Soul Premise, y'all. No more tote and carry bags. Okay, hold on. Soul Premise. Let me go and pull this up real quick. Before we continue over, see, I can do what I want to do. Oh, I'm not like the regular. Oh, I'm going to be on Fox News tonight. Top of the show, 7 p.m. Ingram angle. They said that Time Dog going to be at the top of the show. They going to make up for it. They ain't let me, Okay, I see you, Soul Premise. Okay, so when you going to send it to me then? My address is in the description of the video, I believe. Send me the bag. Let's see what we can do about this. Let me see what we got here. Now, if you a chaser, then we might have to promote you. You a chaser, we might have to promote you. You got duffels? Oh, snaps. Got the Weekender duffel bag. Oh, I like that bag. It's kind of dope. I like this bag. Yeah, send me the his and hers. We're gonna see what we can do for you, big dog. Let's have a conversation, all right? All right. Shout out to Soul Premise out here in the building. I like it. Vaughn says, good morning, AD. It's crazy people I've known for 4 years saying shame on me for voting for Trump, saying that they feel unsafe. You gonna do what's best for your husband and your kids? Do your thing, Vaughn. I like that. A-Man01 says, good morning, AD, and everyone. If Trump is the meetup, I might be there. If Tennessee is the meetup, you might be there. All right, well, we'll see about that. I was curious how you felt about those HGTV guys coming to your city and fixing up homes and selling them back. I always found it off-putting that the community didn't do that on their own. You got it. If you don't want people to come in and gentrify your area, then take care of what you got. Double my net worth with just my stock portfolio this year, crushing my goals, getting this money America folks. Shout out to Derek Hughes. Mr. Joe says, good morning, AD. Did you hear that Kamala's campaign is $20 million? I keep hearing that. Y'all send me that information, and then I'm going to go into that. Let's get it back. Chasers, all praise to the Lord and Savior. What up, though? Vaughn says, also, AD, I just want to say, I love your show, and don't miss it. Also getting heat because I'm a naturalized citizen, so they say I'm working against immigrants. Get your money and take care of your kids and your family. Don't worry about what nobody else talking about. Get your money and take care of your business. Andre Andrews says, I guarantee cartels assisted in the funding of the Democratic campaign. They profited billions per year from Biden and Harris being in office. Woo-wee. 62 Steve, what up? Says, as soon as Trump is sworn in, I'm calling ICE on my neighbors, playing an obnoxious, loud circus music. Nicholas Woodby says, AD, I'm in Cali. Have you heard Newsom is already calling for a committee meeting and taxpayer dollars to be put together lawsuits against Trump? We ain't worried about what he's talking about. We gonna kick it. Life in Your Eyes says, when and where are the studies going to take place? Oh, y'all want Bible study now, huh? Yardy for Life says, most of the migrants coming through are not Mexicans. They're coming from countries below Mexico. Maybe I'll make a spiritual channel. Maybe I will make a spiritual channel. Let me do some finding out if that's what the people really want. All right, Soul Premise, what up, though? You love Soul Premise, Aaron Miller? All right, let's get to it. Well, let's see what we got on the other end of that. New York City. New York is falling in line. Now, I have a theory about this. And my theory is that Eric Adams already seen the writing on the wall. Forget what Letitia James talking about. We're going to talk about her next week. Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, I sense that Eric Adams did not want to be a part of this administration shenanigans from the beginning. But he had to play ball. And the minute that he stopped playing ball, I think that that's when they started to sick the Department of Justice and the feds on him. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. Eric Adams was a part of the Go Along and Get Along gang. And see, this is what happens when you're a part of the Go Along, Get Along gang, like Brandon Johnson. Huh? You know what happens? Is that you have to compromise your morals and your beliefs for what's best for your city and the people that you serve in order to bow the knee to something that's much greater than you, but is much more demonic than what you thought it was. And so the minute that he started to have a conscience, again, I liken this to Jerry Maguire. When he woke up one night and he said, I had an epiphany. And then he wrote his manifesto and he sent it out to the company. Then everybody was looking at him as he came in and he was like, who's coming with me? Next thing you know, he was out there saying, show me the money, trying to keep one client. And that's what I look at Eric Adams as. I look at Eric Adams as a leper of the Biden administration. But Eric Adams had one more card to play. And you know what that card probably was? You know what the card is that Eric Adams played? Eric Adams played the Trump card. He said, listen, I'm going to put all of my eggs in that other basket. And when Trump was running for president of the United States of America, he said, listen, I'm not going against that man, and I'm not going to endorse the Kamala Harris campaign because I got one more card to play. Now, I don't know if at some point he's hoping, considering all of the federal charges that he's facing, I don't know if... No, thank you, Siri. No, thank you. I don't know if Eric Adams believes in his heart that he can get a pardon from the Trump administration, but I tell you what, he sure is playing them cards. So this is what he decided to do in New York. He decided to go against the migrant crisis that they've been funding over the last few years and said, I'm ending this. And I'm going to start by no longer participating in the food voucher program that we've been giving away taxpayer dollars for over these last few years as a part of the Biden administration and Kamala Harris. Let's see what they got to say.
Now to the mayor of New York. Lots of news involving Mayor Adams today. And today he's joining us live on Eyewitness News.
Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We want to start.
Great to see you both.
Yes, great to see you too. We want to start with your decision late this afternoon to end that food voucher program for immigrants. What led to this decision and why now?
Well, it was an emergency contract for a sunsetting 1 year. That was what it was in place for 1 year. Now we have moved away from emergency response because we have had a constant decrease in our population. And now we're going to the procurement process that we do now for food. But we've been successful with that program. We brought down food waste. We were able to get several thousand individuals to have culturally sensitive food at the same time, and it was successful for the time being. And now we move into the general putting out the RFPs that are needed. It was an emergency, and now we're moving in another direction.
Funny, isn't that amazing? 3 days after the election, Trump got elected going up on a Tuesday, going up. Squad going up. Ain't that funny that on a Tuesday, Trump gets elected, and then on Thursday, on a Friday and Thursday, all of a sudden everybody started getting in line. Ain't that crazy?
Of course, the big issue surrounding the city and has been the big issue surrounding your tenure to some degree. Let's talk about some other crucial issues, though. You talked yesterday to President-elect Trump. What did you talk about? And did it involve any funding for New York City or perhaps lack of funding?
Well, I've been very consistent about private conversations. I don't go into them, but I'm clear. I'm here to fight on behalf of this city. You can't hold your breath and wait 4 years before you start bringing back those resources to the city. We have a new president, and I'm going to collaborate with his administration to deal with some pressing issues that face in our city, particularly around funding. When you look at the billions of dollars we spent with the migrants and asylum seekers, we got very little help from the federal government, and I think it's imperative that we engage on the right foot to say New York needs infrastructure, affordability, and other big-ticket items.
Why didn't it need it prior to that before Trump got elected on a Tuesday? I'm just wondering. Going up on a Tuesday, got your girl in the cutting sheet Tuesday, squad going up. Nobody flipping packs now. I just did 3 in a row. Them shows is back to back now. Oh, look at Eric Adams out there. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm. That's unfortunate. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. It ain't no way, no how. I made it on my own. I made it on my own style. I don't think that I should stay. You know I gotta go. But moving too fast. Don't want to take it slow. Got the club going up on a Tuesday. Oh my God. It ain't no way, no how. I'm about to play that song. Let me get that on my computer.
Well, Mayor, speaking of the new president, do you think the Trump presidency will have an impact on your federal case? Are you hoping the charges will be dropped? We do know that he said that you were being unfairly targeted because of your criticism of the Biden administration's immigration policy. What are your thoughts on that? And have you spoken to Trump about this?
No, I did not. And I've been extremely clear that I've done nothing wrong, and I have competent attorneys that are going to handle that case.
Look, now he's starting to talk about the case. And listen, let me make sure I add this in. I've done nothing wrong. I got competent attorneys. I've been doing things on the up and up, and I think that I need a reprieve.
My job is to do what I was elected to do, and that's fight on behalf of New Yorkers. And anyone who conflate the two just really don't know who I've been for the last 30 plus years as a public servant from police officer to an elected official. I'm going to fight and defend this city. This city deserves that, and that is what I'm going to continue to do.
Okay. And just quickly, Mayor, are you hoping that he drops the charges?
My attorney, anything that's dealing with my case, I have an excellent attorney that can handle those questions. I have to answer the questions of how to move the city forward, and I'm not going to allow anything to get in the way of that.
We'll call the lawyer later tonight and ask him the questions. I do want to talk to you a little bit more about financial assistance. You were quite critical of the lack of financial assistance President Biden didn't help fund. The flood of migrants coming into New York. It's hard to imagine Donald Trump's going to, in all honesty, Mayor, going to boost any funding to pay for that. And in fact, he may order them out of the country, as we well know. People who live here and work here and their children are going to school here in the public schools. Mr. Mayor, let's talk about that cost of all that and what your hopes are for Mr. Trump.
Well, first we need to deal with the reality. Over 220,000 migrants and asylum seekers came to the city, and we spent billions of taxpayers' dollars to take care of this issue, as well as other cities, Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles. When you look at those tax dollars not going to the residents of those cities to deal with the crucial issues we had to face coming out of COVID, I found that troubling, and I was clearly vociferous about it. But this is a sanctuary city. I think that the modification that was last made under the previous administration was the wrong modification. When it was put in place under Koch and under Bloomberg, it had a different concept. I don't believe people who come to the city and create violent crimes should not remain in the city, and we should have the right, after they serve their time, to turn them over to ICE. But we
Listen. This is what I know for sure. They could throw all of the words at us, and they could talk all of that nonsense. This is one thing I know for sure, and two things is for certain. Everybody changing their tune. By Friday, by payday, listen, election was Tuesday. Tuesday night, we already knew that she had lost. Obama was wrong on his Twitter when he said that we're going to have to take some time and count all of the votes. Next thing you know, everybody got in line. Russia got in line. Eric Adams got in line. The only person that's still out of line is Gavin Newsom and Letitia James. The only person that's, I bet LeBron James, did LeBron James take that tweet down? Let me look at that tweet that LeBron did, endorsing Kamala Harris on Elon Musk's platform. Let me see something. Let me see, LeBron James. LeBron James. He still got it up there. He still got it up there. I can't believe it. LeBron James still got the tweet out there that's saying that he endorsing. I would have took that junk down so fast. I would have took that down so fast I wouldn't even have blunked. I wouldn't even have been blinking. I'd have took that junk down so fast. Anyways, congratulations for everybody that's switching sides. Should have picked the right side in the first place. Everybody picked the wrong side. Danny Shea says, I have the sole premise weekender duffel and toiletries bag. Really? So y'all here rocking out with something that I didn't even know about? Interesting. Word Custom says, sole premise practice is top notch. I had one for 8+ years and always get comments on my matching bags at airports and when traveling. Really? So I need to get rid of my bag. All right. We'll see what's happening. I think I might need a sole premise deal. Send it to me. Let me check it out. We might be able to work something out. I don't know. It may be the official bag of the Anton Daniels show. Adonis 1909 says, AD, I can't believe almost every state turned complete red, even California. Also, did you see the video in Virginia to allow third trimester deletions? I did not. I'm not aware of it, but send it to me. Brother in Christ, make that spiritual channel ASAP. Is that what y'all want? Sharik says these people got all this fight and determination to illegally break into our country. Why won't they use that same fights for their own country? That's what I keep saying. Why y'all keep doing all of that junk over here? Anthony Woodson's. What up to Anthony Woodson's in the building? I appreciate you. Abe the Hunter in the building says, AD, tell him about jail. The wife of Heber drove a tent peg into the head of Sisera and the Canaanite general and killed him. Judges 4:21. Big J all day says, we the bag chasers I put on for my country. Smooth Artist says, send them and the Dems and their kids back to Mexico. Diamato Cooper says, Bible study is a great idea. I would love to help with that. I joined the Patreon. Shout out to the new bag chasers. Y'all not a part of the Patreon. Link is in the description. Kev Rove. I appreciate you, says, it's going to feel amazing seeing Paco and Rosa no longer being able to spend my tax dollars at the bodega. Way to finally use that P-brain, Eric. Nah, he just getting on board. They just on board. Anyone checked on Eric D? Eric D is here. What up, AD? Since Trump won, I hope to see you in Portland sometime next year. Y'all got to clean up. I got to clean up Portland. My homeboy keep telling me about, I'll be there. Been a bag chaser for a while. Would love to meet you. Okay. Y'all know y'all can catch flights out too, right? Are y'all ready for the no tax on tips and overtime? We are. Anton, let me hear you laugh a little with the message that Trump's lawyers sent to Rasputin a little. Rasputin. Why y'all say Letitia James look like Rasputin? Jesus. Cam West says, damn, you can sing too? No, I'm just chilling. I'm just hanging around, just having a good time like everybody else. Karaoke night on the Millionaire Morning Show. AD, I bet you Eric signed that order in crayon. Chris Cunningham says, Eric Adams flip. I don't even think Eric Adams is Democrat no more. Deshaun Hill says, add JB Pritzker to the people who got out of line. We need to get him back in line. Beans Greens, Trump went and got a switch, and now everybody trying to act right. If you know, you know. Elias says, I know some of us would absolutely love if you made a spiritual channel. Just met you, but I know the truth when I hear it. Is that what y'all want? Is that what y'all want? I don't know about that. Because then if I make a spiritual channel, then I can't talk about the hoes no more. You know what I'm saying? If you still, look. This is the reason why a spiritual channel may not work for me. Because I could still lean on the idea of saying, the Lord's still trying to work on me. But see, if I create a spiritual channel, then they're going to be like, Anton, you got to hold yourself up to a higher standard. But if I don't, it's almost like political office, right? If you become a politician, then you got to be like way above board. But if you're the person that fund the politicians, then you could just be like, why they ain't doing what they supposed to do? I believe that people that jump on the pulpit and start preaching the word of God, which I think that everybody should acknowledge God and make sure that they bring him into the kingdom. But if you're going to say that you're a preacher, then you got to be above board. And Anton still like to look at the whole. Never know. Sometimes I might get a little out of order and start making it rain. Now, give some dollars. Hey, baby. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. These is fives. Let me collect these. Oh, you got any ones over there in the back, please? I seen the preacher throwing some ones throwing nickels at women that was on the stage. I seen preachers throwing nickels at women on the stage. I said, I'm not ready, Lord. I'm not ready. I might just be the one that need to fund the people that need to do what they supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Because if you start doing it yourself, then they want to hold you to a higher standard. I see the preacher over there. Get out of here. Out of here. I'm still hanging out in the streets trying to figure out where all of the people is trying to get their life together. Preaching on the corner. I pay my tithes and offerings though. Anyways, let's continue. Let's continue on with the show. Reading Super Chat shortly. I love the scriptures, but I love the let's get to Rachel Maddow. Rachel Maddow decided that she wanted to have a little bit of a meltdown, and she said they got the big to-do list over there on MSNBC on how to defend democracy. Let's get to it.
If you are an American citizen who does not want to ashcan the American system of government, who doesn't want a strongman authoritarian system where the whole government is one guy and everything else just exists to serve him, if that is not the kind of country that you want, then yesterday's election means you have more to do for your country than you have ever done before. Because now is when the rubber really hits the road, right? We don't just flip a switch and the American system of government is gone. Democracy is gone. It doesn't work like that. I mean, not to be boring here for a second, but just getting very real. We now are just another one in the list of countries that has decided to, hey, what the heck? Let's try.
Y'all said I ain't got to hold myself to a higher standard. Oh, man, because Anton going to be having them conversations. You see that black couch back there? Listen, let me tell y'all something before we get to Rachel Maddow. That black couch is legendary. That couch right there, that is a legendary couch right there. That couch, then seen Mo Booty sit on there talk about some of the wildest things than ever before. That couch, I might have to retire that couch. I think I'm going to take that over to a place. So I know I'm about to redo the studio, but that couch, something, it's got to stay somewhere. The legendary black couch got to stay. You know what I'm saying?
Try the strongman thing. Let's let democracy go. Let's put in an all-powerful guy instead, see how it goes. There are many more countries in the world governed by that kind of a system than there are governed by ours. We are the only 248-year-old multiracial, pluralistic democracy in the world. And shall we keep it? A lot of our fellow Americans say we shouldn't. Now we know. Now we know for sure. But a lot of Americans, tens of millions of Americans, say we should keep that system. Which means time to fight for it. And yes, Americans did fight for it by working on this election, by trying to get the candidate elected who was both the Democrat and the small d Democrat. She didn't win. The strongman candidate won instead. But now history doesn't end. Time doesn't stop. Now we have the benefit of knowing, how this has gone in every other country that has been through a democracy to authoritarian transition.
Yeah, somebody said it in the chat. This sounds like insurrection talk. If Trump had lost, and Fox News or anybody else or J.D. Vance had been talking like this, they would say that this is insurrection talk. What I don't understand is how these Democrats can't read the room. Even people that traditionally label themselves Democrats decided that they wanted to vote for Trump, and they voted Republican down ballot. Y'all lost the Senate. You didn't vote in the person that was handpicked for y'all in the presidency. And now y'all talking this wild talk that makes y'all even more radical than the thing that got you ousted in the first place. Don't you realize that people don't want what y'all selling? They don't want men participating in women's sports. They don't want men participating in women's bathrooms. They don't want gender affirmation transitions inside of prisons on the behalf of taxpayer dollars. At some point, you got to read the room and say, you know what? Am I crazy? Because everybody else, are they crazy or am I crazy? You can't lose this bad and still be standing on business. Somebody in the chat said MSNBC is for sale. Is that true? Is that true? Because if they for sale, then that means that they're not as profitable and they still not reading the room. If they for sale, then that means they're not as profitable and they still not reading the room.
And sadly, there are a lot of them. We have the benefit of seeing what's happened in those other countries, though. And what we know is that the more ground the authoritarian takes, the harder it is to ever get that ground back. And so the first order of business is to stop them from taking any uncontested ground right from the outset when it comes to what our system of government is and what our democracy is. Right? We know from other countries' experiences that quickly, I mean now, in the next few weeks, if not the next few days, they are going to start pushing to see how far the country is going to let them go without pushback, without protest. And part of this is because it's just psychologically advantageous for them to do this now, right? They're counting on the half the country that voted against them, the half the country that doesn't want to give up our system of government. They're counting on all those tens of millions of Americans to be despondent, to feel powerless, to check out, which, of course, would mean letting them do what they want, letting them run the table. What they really don't want is for the half the country that voted against them, the half the country that wants to keep our democracy. What they really don't want is for those tens of millions of Americans to wake up tomorrow feeling scrappy as hell, feeling, sure, regretful about the election outcome, but also, frankly, freed up from having to spend all of our time working on the election. So now we can work full time on being fricking pirates, on being a thorn in the side to anyone who now intends to try to turn this country into some tin pot tyranny. What they want least of all is to realize that half the country went to bed sad tonight, but then woke up tomorrow fired up with a new...
Fired up to do what?
New sense of purpose, knowing that apparently this is what we're on this earth to do as American citizens in this generation.
Listen, they can throw all of this nonsense that they want at y'all. Let me tell you something. Y'all want to know the truth? While they all whining and crying and complaining about the fact that they overpaid anchors that's paid to push an agenda towards y'all that's not beneficial for your family, I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth, okay? This is a reality check from Uncle Anton. You ready? All right, here goes. You are young. You are 18, 22, 24, 28, 30. And one day you're going to wake up and you're going to say to yourself, what the fuck was I doing with my life? Don't turn this off. Church, you keep this on. Trust me. There's people in your congregation that's preaching on your pulpit that ain't really living life the way they're supposed to, but they talk real nice. And there's people like me that's living life the way I'm supposed to, but I don't necessarily talk the way you want me to. I need you to listen to what I'm saying. Kids, listen up. One day you're going to wake up. Right now, you've been programmed to think that this is the way that life is supposed to go. But one day you're going to wake up and you're going to say, damn, I wanted a family. Or damn, I made the transition and I can't go back because I cut my penis off. Or man, all of the lives that I ruined. Or wow, I really do want a family. And you know what happens when you have that come to Jesus moment? You try to make it right by then transitioning over into being more conservative because you realize that the thing that your grandma and your grandfather put in you when you was younger was the thing that never departed from you, but you just went through a whole phase. And so don't let your whole phase become permanent because all you doing is sleeping with the devil. I'm going to tell you the truth. Listen, they can sit there and tell you that you need to fight. I'm telling you, you fighting a losing battle. You can't hotbox with God. You can't hotbox with God. Even God's children, Even the ones that God loved the most, he let them go through it so that they can get to it. If you've ever read the word, it'll tell you, you're going to do it before the fight or after the fight, but you still going to do it. The will is still going to get done. It's still going to get done. And so what good does it benefit you to prolong the inevitable? The inevitable being that you have gold, frankincense, and myrrh on this side, but you keep fighting to be a part of the devil's playground. I don't understand it. At some point in your life, it's a reason why people start off as liberal, and then as they get older, they become more conservative. And it's not because they become richer or they become crazier. It's because they become wiser. They're learning and they're evolving. And as they know more and they learn more, they evolve to become something different because they realize the error in their ways and they don't want to continue to go down that path of destruction. Your 20s, the thing that they sold y'all on, and this is a life moment for y'all, the things that they sold you on is that your 20s would be the best time in your life. And for some of y'all whose life stopped in time and you have nothing else to look forward to, it is. I run into people all the time that sit there and say, man, remember when we was in high school? And I'll be like, yeah. And the first time they say it'd be cool. But then the second story that they hit me with, I'll be like, damn, your best years is behind you. What they don't tell you is the decisions that you make in your 20s and your 30s is going to then determine whether or not you actually have a better life in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. Because I'm never going back to my 20s. I'm never going back to being broke. I'm never going back to being a social justice warrior for the wrong thing. I'm never going back to being dusty. I'm never going back to having it, losing it, and then trying to figure it out in the midst of having things and people that depend on me and suffering to the point to where now I'm in a space to where I can do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I don't have to do it for you. I have to do it for myself, for my people, because I'm doing it to lead this earth in a better space. See, now when you become conservative, it's not necessarily about money, and that's what they teach you. They teach you that conservatives and Republicans is for the rich and Democrats is for the poor, and they lied to you. Because the reason why people become conservative has nothing to do with whether or not they get rich or not. The thing that they become conservative about is their values and their morals and their characters. And what we on this side that actually do it the right way and stand for righteousness understand is that it's not about the money. The money is going to come anyway when you're doing it the right way. If you're great at what you do when you do it the right way, eventually you're going to be rewarded by it and you're going to be paid handsomely as a result of it. But what we as a conservative people realize is that it's no longer good to do it the fast way. It's no longer good to mutilate your body. It's no longer good. You're going to pay for all of those unwanted seeds that you eliminated out of. Forget the souls that you're dealing with. You're going to pay with your own physical body. Your body is ruined. Do you realize that some of y'all can't even have kids when you want to? Or the man that you wind up meeting that's supposed to be your husband, he don't value you the same because of the way that you mutilated your body and you can't even give him the child that he deserves and you think that he's still supposed to take care of you? Why? Because you had this mindset that then put you in this position that's not beneficial for you when you turn 40 and you turn 50. The same stuff that you fighting against is a thing that's going to save your life. And y'all fighting. You fight so hard for the devil. You fight so hard. And you say reproductive right. I see y'all little funky hoes crying on TV. Yeah, I can't mutilate my body anymore. You still can mutilate your body. You can still vote in your state and determine whether or not you want to remove unwanted pregnancies. Nobody removed that option for you. But we just don't want to participate in it on a federal level. That should not be the government's hand in that. Honest to God, I'm telling you, listen. You're going to wake up one day and you're going to say, dang. I wasted so much of my time. I wasted so much of my life. It could have been better on this side a long time ago. But you're not going to realize it until you done already pissed away a majority of your blessings. And then you're just going to have to take whatever it is that God give you. Then that's when women and men transition over into the church and they say, oh, wade in the water. Wade in the water. Then they start going to church every day. Most of these grandmothers, most of these aunties, most of them people that's a part of that new birth church and stuff like that, they former hoes. You know you don't have to hold yourself out and go through it in order to be able to be successful, right? Everybody don't have to suffer before you get to it. Wade in the water. Y'all want so bad to go and watch some more slave movies. Ain't you tired of watching slave movies? Ain't you tired of being a slave that you ain't never been before? Think about what I'm saying. Ain't you tired of being a slave that you ain't never been before? I know people that want so bad to want to have went through slavery. You don't have to be a slave. You know that, right? Look at what they did to our ancestors. Then there'd be people on the right side. They'd be like, man, I don't even know your ancestors. My bad. Then you get all of these white apologists that feel like they need to apologize to you for something they ain't even been a part of. Ain't y'all tired? Ain't you tired of being a victim? Listen to victim talk right here. Let me show you what victim talk look like.
Because history did not just end. Time did not just stop. We just got marching orders from the universe and the Electoral College.
The universe is trying to tell you something. You just got marching orders from the universe and the Electoral College. Okay, let's see what they told you to do.
As of today, American citizens who do want to hold on to democracy, we know exactly what we're going to be spending the next days and weeks and likely years of our life working on. And the strategic first moves come into focus quickly when you think about what other countries have shown us about how hard it is to regain democratic ground once.
Do y'all realize that this woman right here is going to go back to her huge house and her mansion and that she's reading from a script that some producer wrote for her? That Rachel Maddox is reading from a script to try to program you to do something while she goes back into her high pay. How much do Rachel Maddox make to sell y'all on this BS? Did y'all know that Rachel Maddow makes $30 million a year? You actually think she give a flying F about you and that she rocking with you? Rachel Maddow got a new deal with MSNBC effectively paying her making her the biggest primetime star, paying her more money to work less. $30 million through the 2024 election. $30 million. Did y'all know that Rachel Maddow she used to earn $7 million as a news anchor on MSNBC, and she signed a contract in 2021 that boosted her number to more than $30 million. Y'all listening to this? Are y'all listening to this woman? Do you really think that she's giving you the game and helping you to this woman is being paid to say some of the wildest things to y'all, and you're going to ruin your family because they continue to try to paint her as a wild liberal. I guarantee you this woman is probably more conservative than you would ever believe in behind the scenes.
Countries have shown us about how hard it is to regain democratic ground once an authoritarian leader has taken that ground. And the work has to be done now. The work that has to be done now, it has to.
She can't even read this correctly.
Happen in sort of every aspect, every corner of our society. The U.S. military needs to give the American people binding assurances that they will not deploy U.S. military force against the civilian population in this country. They can give those assurances, and now they should. The free press needs to give the people of this country assurances that they will not become state TV, that they will stand and fight together. They will put aside rivalries and petty professional differences. They will stand and fight together as the free press, as the fourth estate, as an institution that is a pillar of our democracy, as these guys on the other side inevitably start picking off individual journalists, individual publishers, individual news organizations to try ultimately to turn us all into some American accented version of RT.
Loquacious Silence. Shout out to Loquacious Silence. Recent fan, enjoy the perspective. I make 175 bands at 32, now in tech ops. Would switching to info insurance and cybersecurity be worth it? I think so. I don't see any reason why not. I think that cybersecurity is the future. Absolutely. Shout out to Loquacious Silence, killing the game. Yeah. I got the best Rasputia. Norbit. Shout out to Sean S. Shout out to y'all. Sinister Mephisto says, waiting for Monday night, Alderman Jamisha. Yeah, we got to have that conversation. I'm going to tell Q to get them back on there. Stan Joseph says, profit equal progress pastor equal poverty. We are not going back to nobody's church. Make it so on a spiritual channel. All right, let me talk to my spiritual advisors and see whether or not that makes sense. Because they're going to be like, well, you know, Anton, you can't be out here calling people out of their name. I don't know. I'm going to be calling people out of their name. That's what I do. Now, if you want this work, then we can get this work. Brownie Williams says, I would love for you to start a spiritual channel. You truly show the fruits of your works. Thanks, God. Thank God for being blessings to me every morning. Shout out to you. I love you, Brownie. You my little Brownie. Matthew 6:24. Shout out to Magnetar. I appreciate you. Elias says, you can still talk about everything. You're ready. Y'all trying to push me? Y'all trying to bully me? Eric D been punching in the air like Trey since Tuesday. Yeah. Letitia Joy said, yes, I'm a bag chaser. Joined yesterday, ready to learn and grow and get my money right. I like that. Rachel Maddow, it sure is a handsome fellow. She probably look at that as a compliment. Rachel Maddow jawline is looking real strong. Elias with the big dog bag says, LOL, the couch stays. And you can still tell us the truth. All right. Let me do some soul searching and then we're going to have this conversation. Anton, it's in the works. Is to come to Michigan. Also, the spiritual channel would be great. Love the God in you. Only if God leads you to do so. All right. Y'all bullying me. Ashley. Kimmy Joe says Americans rejected communism and now they're raging. Carrie Coates says, peace and love, my brother. Grew up in Inkster, now in Vegas by way of San Diego. After I got out of the Navy, officially a bag chaser, bossing up as we speak. Shout out to the chasers. Levite Apparel goes on to say, Anton, don't worry, I already started the spiritual channel. Instead of taking money, we will give money with Bible trivia channel called CFRB Israel. Was inspired by the Most High God and Jesus, also you. Levite says he got a spiritual channel. If y'all want to check that out, you're more than welcome to be able to do so. Real life begins. I'm going to just tell you, though, when I preach the word, it's a little different than what y'all used to. It ain't the... It ain't none of that. I'm going to just tell you right away. If you're looking for the... if that's what you're looking for, I can't do it. I'm not going to be the place for you. I'm not. You know me. You know how Time Dog get down. I don't have the... Yes, babe. Oh, and he was coming around the mountain like he could. I don't got that. I don't have that for you. So if that's what you're looking for, then you're going to be coming to the wrong place. All right? Oh, my God. This is so crazy. Let me read some more of these super chats and then we're going to go over with it. Give me a second. Y'all ain't got to wear cotton stockings. Real life begins at 14:15. Ghost Money said real talk. Rachel looked like she stand up when she... Oh, Jesus. Elias says, what good does it do you to prolong the inevitable? Oh, my goodness. Life in your ass says, be a silent owner of a religious channel. Maybe I have full confidence it will intrigue young people to follow Christ more by the way Jesus was perfect, bro. Okay. Taylor by Nature says, SAD is the acronym for Standard American Diet, which is an ancient Babylonian diet that destroys the body, as mentioned in Daniel 3 regarding King Nebuchadnezzar. Inability to remember his dream due to his poor diet. Q-Bird goes on to say, hey, Anton, looks like the liberal men supporting Kamala are planning a protest. Sounds like a group fully sassy vibes. Well, let them get their rainbows and let them get their booty shorts out and let them go and protest. We cool with that. Hey, happy Friday, AD and the peeps. We just hit those woke, broke, dusty, radical Dems with that Teddy P. Oh, man. Y'all always want me to sing something. With another TKO. Like you said, please read the room. We don't want that weak anymore. Chaz Lewis says, wife was upset. It's cool, though. We made up after the election. She's starting to get it. She gonna get it. Get her on board, big dog. Rachel Maddow was starting to sound a lot like Alex Jones right now. Yes, she is. C. Martin, what up, C. Martin in the building says, isn't Maddow saying that what the Dems were doing was censorship? Yep. LaFleur, and that's why Elon Musk needed to buy X. And Fleur says spiritual channel. I like that. God continue to bless you as you do his work. Thank you. Thank you, April. You're so cute. Purple Haze says, Eddie, please say, look how they treated our ancestors. Look how they treated our ancestors. GR's infantry in the building says, side note, I knew Trump was going to win. He has a bloodline of 44 and 46. Previous had it. The others by marriage. Messi, what up, Messi says, I got that super sticker for you. Thank you, Messi. I appreciate you. No more excuses says 80. Freedom and equality is an ideological reference for false hope. The serpent lied to Eve. We can never be like God. Truthfully, the knowledge of good and evil was never meant for man. Interesting. I like that. Anton is me, Jerry, author of The Black Fathers Are Real. We do exist. I want to be a part of the panel, bro. I emailed you in Q. No, you got to DM Q on Instagram. Q only answers DMs. Darnell says, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let's continue on with the show. All right. So the question that we have to ask ourselves is this. Was Van Jones pouting on election day enough? I recently seen him and Andrew Yang. Shout out to Andrew Yang. I actually was at an Andrew Yang event before when he was running for president of the United States of America. And prior to him actually losing, I think he lost to Eric Adams over there in New York. But Van Jones and Eric Adams pulled up to CNN, and they wanted to give their take on why Kamala Harris lost the election. Take a look.
All right, everyone's here with me. Lulu Garcia-Navarro, can I start with you? I know you just spoke to the former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi for your podcast, breaking her silence on what happened here. She was, of course, instrumental in pushing Biden to step aside, right? I mean, let's be clear about that. So what's she saying now?
Well, without giving too much away, she talked about the fact that this was a heartbreaking loss. She used that word. She also said that she has spoken to the vice president and that it was a very emotional conversation, that they're friends, and that conversation was difficult for both of them. We had a very wide-ranging and lengthy conversation about what happened, how she sees the path forward, and what her own plans are. And, you know, that will come out soon. But, you know, it is honestly a very, very difficult moment for the former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi.
Absolutely. Van, so Nancy Pelosi using the word heartbreak.
Let me tell you about Nancy Pelosi. Nancy was wrong. Nancy was wrong. Nancy said that Biden needed to get out of the race because the Democrats was going to lose down ballot. Guess what? The Democrats was going to lose down ballot the whole time. So then you basically snaked out Biden, but we know that Nancy's portfolio is probably exploding. So she ain't tripping about it because anybody that ever want to get rich, all you got to do is follow Nancy Pelosi in the stock market. She always beat the S&P 500.
Breaking in her conversation with Lulu. Carville talking about a dark tunnel. Blame is starting.
Yep.
And there needs to be discussion among Democrats. So,
well, look, we spent $1 billion and elected Donald Trump. That's not a blame game. That's called accountability. And the people at the top of the campaign, the top of the party, have a lot of people pissed off at him because there were people who had suggestions. There were people who were saying, why are we doing this? Why this? It was like, hey, we've got it, we've got it, we've got it. We've got this special magical computer formulation. We've tested every ad. Shut up and sit down and go back to work. And so people said, okay, well, I guess you're right. And then we got clobbered, clocked, knocked down, beat up, drugged down. And so people are mad, and they should be mad. And the people at the top are going to have to listen. There is a grassroots rebellion happening in this party, and it's coming to knock on the door of the people who are in charge of the party. That's not blame game. That's accountability.
Accountability.
Ain't that crazy? First of all, Van Jones has finally said something that's true for the first time in his life without crying. But the second thing is, there's a grassroots rebellion? That sounds extreme. I know I can't be the only person that's hearing this, that I know that the Democratic Party has always been the party of divisiveness, but a grassroots rebellion? Those are words that they usually associate with the right. A grassroots rebellion? Oh, no. Oh, no. Not a grassroots rebellion. But he was right about one thing. They got clobbered, and they spent $1 billion promoting Donald Trump to do it. One of the reasons that they got clobbered is, A, they didn't really have anything to stand on. And so what they did was they basically spent $1 billion promoting Donald Trump. Man, look, if I was one of them women, AKAs, for Kamala Harris, if I was any of them white women, black women for Kamala Harris, I would be pissed that my money went over to Beyonce and she over there back in her mansion, that my money went over there to Glorilla and Meg Thee Stallion and Usher, baby. I would be pissed that they sat there and got every single celebrity endorsement and they got beat down because nobody cares about twerking at a rally in Atlanta. Nobody cares about twerking at a rally in Atlanta. They got destroyed. And they spent $1 billion doing it. And guess what? I'm not mad at them. You know why I'm not mad at them? You know why I'm not mad at them, Van? Let me tell you why I'm not mad at them. Because anybody that's been following me for a period of time, over the last year or so, let's just say year or so, know that they spent a quite amount of money on YouTube ads. Boy, I never had so many ads running on the Anton Daniels channel and the Millionaire Morning Show and After Hours about why you should vote for Kamala Harris for president, and they spent all of your money on my ads. And YouTube said, here's your check, big dog. Kamala Harris is like to pay you in order to promote Donald Trump. And every single message they did, they promoted Donald Trump. They thought that they was killing his name, but the more that they kept him in the algorithm, and I told y'all what the social media strategy was, I never seen so many Kamala Harris ads in my life. In my life. Boy, I will tell you, I made so much mother effing money off of Kamala Harris. It's insane. Thank you, liberals. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You have no clue the amount of money that I made from you guys. It is absolutely, positively insane the amount of money I made from liberals. You have no clue the amount of money that all of those billions of dollars, it went to us. It went to us. Y'all went over there to promote Donald. Y'all couldn't even say a sentence without saying Donald Trump. Couldn't say a sentence without saying Donald Trump. If I showed you how much money that I made from Kamala Harris, you would be like, these people are fools. All y'all did was gave it to conservative pundits.
I mean, and I know you're for $1 billion.
$1 billion.
And I believe they technically, blew a few $100 million of that in the recent weeks, Andrew Yang, and now ended up technically maybe in debt, a little bit. They did door knocking, they did traditional ads, but you heard what Van's saying. They weren't listening to other ideas that people maybe like Van had.
For instance.
Yes, well, I mean, there should be accountability, and Joe Biden should not have run for a second term. There should have been a competitive primary.
I would listen. If it was me, I wish we could do the election all the way up through January. I said, good God, these people are stupid.
In January, he should have dropped out in January and not July. And by the way, J.B. Pritzker, Gavin Newsom, they should have challenged him in January. We all know that they had campaigns in waiting, but instead everyone said, oh, Joe's going to be fine. Joe's going to be fine. He has a disastrous debate against Donald Trump, and then he drops out in July, and then everything is under the gun and in hurry up mode. The party lost a crucial period where they could have introduced the next generation of leaders to the American people, vetted and chosen a ticket that could have taken the fight to Donald Trump instead of Joe Biden fumbling the ball to Kamala down the stretch.
Don't blame Joe. Don't blame Joe.
And Lulu, to this whole conversation, is there
Because they the ones that said that Joe was competent, he was good. He is good.
any sense from people you're talking to of what role they think it played, that there was a perception, certainly among some voters, that at least Kamala Harris had not been honest with voters about Joe Biden's true state? I mean, this kept coming up again and again. Now people are trying to figure out, well, what happened? Is that something you hear?
I mean, I think that one of the things that happened during this election is that when that disastrous debate with Joe Biden happened, I think there was a break in trust with the Democratic Party and the electorate. There was a feeling that there wasn't actually honesty about the condition of the president, and that people had been perhaps shielding him from the voters. I mean, if you think about the fact that he really hadn't been sitting down for interviews. He hadn't been giving extended press conferences. And so I think that there is a real, there are still questions about what exactly happened there and who knew what and when they knew it.
Right. I mean, that is the real question. I mean, Van, I'd done an interview with him a few weeks before that. I didn't know, he was fine in that capacity, but you would imagine someone around him all the time, as many were, would have had a much different, perhaps, view. But, it all came down to many, many things, right? But when you look at the actual votes, it wasn't as if Trump suddenly surged in so many things. Yeah. It's that Democrats did worse. Monmouth went through just the blue states. Trump got an extra 280,000 votes this time versus last time, so he improved. Yep, but that's not the story. Look at this full screen. Yeah, Harris lost 3 million.
That's called election interference. That's what that's called. It's called election interference.
339,404 votes. Yes. That's what stands out there.
Well, Bakari Sellers said over and over again, it's either Kamala Harris or Donald Trump or the couch. And Bakari was always worried about the couch, people just not feeling inspired enough to go out and vote. He wasn't worried that people were going to not vote for Kamala and go vote for Trump. He was afraid they weren't going to vote at all. And here's how we got beat. We got beat because the Republicans and the conservatives built a different media system that had to do with online, had to do with podcasts, had to do with streaming platforms. That's true. And they were spending their money there. We were laughing at them and knocking on doors in Philadelphia and Detroit. It was like, there's no Trump people. They're not dropping literature. They're not knocking on doors.
In fact, it was laughing like, oh, Elon Musk and Charlie Kirk with their PACs don't know what they're doing. We were making fun
of Donald Trump for having thrown away his ground game and doing some weird stuff online. We thought that they were idiots. It turned out we were the idiots. We woke up in a body bag because while we were knocking on doors, they were making these phones into 24-hour-a-day political weapons for themselves. And so we got outflanked, outplayed, outbeat by people who told us the whole time that they knew what they were doing. And people are mad. And Future Forward, all these different groups that vacuumed up all this money and told everybody to sit down and shut up are going to be in for an accountability session from the grassroots, and it is coming.
I remember when you and I were speaking.
He's 100% right. People can't read the room. They don't understand. Listen, the minute that Elon Musk bought Twitter and turned it into X, it was over. The minute that I seen Joe Rogan, when Barron told Trump to go on Joe Rogan and he did that 3-hour interview, it was over. When I seen J.D. Vance going into enemy territory, it was over. When I seen all of these people that were starting to mobilize, when I seen her appear on Club Shay Shay, and the people was destroying her in the comments, when I seen her on All the Smoke, and people were destroying them in the comments, and they were so happy to have her on, I said that this is not going to end well. This ain't going to age well. This is not going to age well.
Earlier, you were talking about algorithms, all kinds of data that was available that you were, people were going to be presenting to the Harris campaign.
Sure.
And I suppose you're going to say that did fall on deaf ears to large part?
Yeah, Van's right. They were like, we've got it.
We've got it.
And they didn't have it. And one very obvious missed opportunity is that Joe Rogan has the biggest audience in the country. It's disaffected, low propensity men, kind of the audience that the Harris campaign should be trying to reach. It was much more upside than anything else. Kamala goes on, Tim Walz goes on, and then you have millions of men who are exposed to the Democratic message, and they turned it down because she was too busy. I mean, like it makes zero sense, except in the context that the team just didn't have confidence in her to do it, which would be its own issue.
Unless you think he's being mean. 48 million views for the Rogan-Trump interview on YouTube alone.
Which was what, a 3-hour interview?
A 3-hour interview with 48 million views. Like, they were laughing.
That's 2/3 of the total number of votes that Harris.
Yeah, so it's all the debate, I think. It's like 1 million
Can
more
I jump
debate.
in here?
Yeah, Lulu.
I mean, I'm very happy that everyone's talking here about the information ecosystem. Obviously, it's incredibly important. So is Joe Rogan. But there is two issues here. One is the message, and the other is the messenger. And so, and how those messages are delivered. And so, there is a lot of discussion right now about the ground game and how you reach voters and all these things. And I think that's going to be parsed. But, voters told the Democratic Party over and over and over again that their main issues were their pocketbooks, inflation, and immigration. And that was what they told them. And the closing message of the Democratic Party was democracy and Donald Trump is a bad man.
Right. Well, but Is there any way that they could have won, though, with Kamala Harris with immigration on the issue, given that she was part of the Biden administration? But that was just never really defined.
Yeah, so two things. Number one, if you were going to run Kamala, then she needs permission to break from Joe Biden and say, hey, look, whatever the administration did, like I would have done things differently, and we're going to go this other direction. I mean, her inability to do that was a very serious problem.
I don't know if it was winnable. There are two numbers. One is 39, the other is 75. 39 is the approval rate for Joe Biden. That's very low.
Yep.
And 75 is the wrong track measure. That's very high. So she had a tough hill to climb. I think that she did as well as you could possibly do. But she had a bunch of people running that campaign who did not listen, who were very arrogant, who sucked up $1 billion, who pissed off a lot of people, and you're going to be hearing about it for a long time.
A lot of people who had said they weren't going to donate another dollar. Biden didn't get out in July, and then they opened up the floodgates, and they did give that money.
January, not July. Joe Biden, I endorsed him in 2020, but he failed the George Washington test in passing the torch in time to have a real primary.
All right, all of you, thank you very much. I appreciate it, as always.
So basically what you're seeing and basically what's happening is they eventually got to a space where they couldn't read the room. They didn't know what people is really talking about. They didn't understand the fact that, I know I was muted. I appreciate y'all for letting me know. But we back, we good. I had to make sure that the person that was flying in that's coming to do all of the stuff in my studio, they got in safe and that I could send them an Uber in order for them to be able to get to their hotel. But they couldn't read the room. They didn't know what was going on. And Van Jones was absolutely right. They got clobbered. Everybody thought that they knew what they was doing. Even the people online and even people like me was saying, hey, this is a bad strategy. You shouldn't keep talking about Trump. She shouldn't have Project 2025 on her website. They shouldn't keep talking about reproductive rights. She need to be accountable. She need to distance herself from Joe Biden and throw him under Listen, it was so many different ways that they could solve for the issues that was really playing out right in front of their face, and they didn't, and they paid the price for it, and they got clobbered. More importantly, people don't want to be more liberal. They want to be more conservative, and they want to get back to the money. So that's what really happened in this campaign. And why they lost it, is because everybody realized that she wasn't the best person for the president of the United States of America, and it was already a lost campaign no matter what. Go ahead and teach that word. We always need sound doctrine instead of all of the filth that's out here. Start that spiritual channel. See you on December 4th. Shout out to Kyle. I can't wait to see you at the show in Detroit. All right, I'm going to think about it. Let me sleep on it. You never want to make an immediate decision. You always want to sleep on it, all right? Christopher Chapman says, I hope Trump makes Alex Jones White House press secretary. Oh, my God. That would be crazy. I don't think that he would ever do that. Levi Apparel says, Anton, start channel. You have a lot of insight on the Bible to help people in financial strain. Also, the prophets never held back. Prophet told it to your face, whether you like it or not. Different people got different ministries. Let me talk. Let me go in my prayer closet. Nancy, give me your 2025 portfolio, please, because you know that's going up. Reign Supreme is in the building, says, what up, Big Ant? Thanks graciously to your daily messages. Sisters don't realize the power that they're about to lose and how we need to stick together more than ever. Congrats to Latinos. They have become the new voices. Shout out to the new Latinos. Kevro, shout out to Kevro. Kevro says, Kamala spent all of that donation money on rap show. At least y'all got some free concerts. Iran plan to assassinate Trump is breaking news. Well, of course they do. Blame me. I love my country and want better. Dave Vernon Miles says, is Trump allowed to be J.D. Vance's VP in 2028 and 32? That'd be crazy. I don't think so. Paul G goes on to say, I was at a Meyer listening out loud when you were singing Going Up the Top on a Tuesday, and I said, no, not Anton. Got these white folks looking at me. Don't be shamed. Shout me to the mountaintops. Shout out Byron Donalds. Ash, my dog. What up, Ash? Hey, don't forget Charlie Kirk with Turning Point USA was actually doing the ground game on college campuses throughout the country to include Blexit. That's true. What in the World TV says, bet you AD they will be coming for them overpaid celebrities. Due to campaign debt, we're going to find out they made millions for a 10-minute appearance. Ain't nobody getting that money back. All right, y'all, listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth. Thank you for continuing to rock out with me. I think that y'all need to make sure that you tune in. Hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. We got After Hours Night. It's going up. Take care of each other. And make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. And remember, get your tickets to come and kick it with me December 14th in Detroit. It's going to be awesome. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Thank y'all. Peace.